everybody, welcome back to Grunt Reviews. We are back out at the lovely U.S. Shooting Academy, and in my hands I have the Primary Weapon Systems MK116 Mod 2, and this will be our range review on this rifle. Guys, always go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment. Helps us with the YouTube algorithms. And if you like what we're doing for you here at the channel and you want to help us out, I've got my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description as always. And let's get into it. First thing we're going to do, I've got the full factory magazine loaded up. This is some of the 855. It's that brown box Winchester stuff. And we're going to make sure that it makes it through an entire mag. Let me use that handy dandy ambi release there, and here we go. And locks back just like it should. Initial impressions on this with that long stroke system, it is definitely a slightly different recoil pulse. It feels much longer, more of a progressive wave than a short just pop next to it. As we mentioned, the tabletop, this thing does have an adjustable gas system on it. What we saw that first magazine was southern border, wide freaking open, and we're going to crank it down. So technically, per the manual, 1 is normal or standard. 2 is going to be for your lower back or your higher back pressure. No, lower. Less gas for a higher back pressure suppressor, and then the last setting is going to be even less gas. And I may have done that backwards. It's kind of hot out here. So what I'm going to do is turn this to setting 2, and I want to see if it will fire without a suppressor. And then if we have good luck, just for kicks and grins, I'm going to crank it down to setting 3 just to see what happens. So 15 rounds. Let's see if she'll run on a lower gas setting. So significantly reduced recoil. Thing feels absolutely buttery smooth. PWS says with that long stroke system that you don't get the carrier tilt that you do with either a short stroke or a DI. That's kind of a subjective feeling. I will say this thing definitely is buttery smooth. So we'll go one more. We are on setting 3, which is the lowest possible gas setting. We're just going to see if this will cycle without a can. And probably not. Let's see here. Alright, so 3 is going to be a little bit too low. We're going to use that PWS tool. We're going to crank it back up to 2. And alright, and it locks back. Most manufacturers do overgas their rifles. It is the nature of it. They want them to run. They want them to run reliably, and I kind of understand that. However, I would say, and we'll do some more testing, obviously, but setting 2 or the gas turned down just slightly. Honestly, the recoil reduction and the overall feel of that recoil impulse. Setting 2, if I was running this in a 3-gun match, would be where I would leave it. I'd almost say setting 1 is going to be like an adverse setting for a very, very dirty rifle. So we will jump into the ambi side of this. So obviously it does have a ambi mag release here, but we also have this ambi bolt release. So we're going to try it out, shoot a couple, reload, shoot a couple, reload, just to see how effective this actually is. And turn the optic down just a hair. And functions exactly as it should. So I kind of wanted to give you the up close on this bad boy. We are going to do some, I'm going to put a suppressor on the end of it to see how it runs suppressed, and then we'll do some accuracy testing. I did want to put this in the video because I know folks are going to ask, and this should be where this thing is either going to really shine or it's going to fall on its face, and that is suppressed. So I've got the AB Raptor. This is the Raptor 6. So it's got these 6 baffles in it, indicated here. They go, you know, larger all the way up to a 10. I believe they go all the way down to a 4. This is a good middle ground. And what we're going to do, I've got it on setting 2, which is where we've been running it for most of this video. That is their suppressed setting. I'm going to fire half a mag. This is some basic 55 grain M193 stuff. We're going to fire half a mag. I'm going to turn it all the way down to setting 3, which is the bottom setting. And we are going to see how well it runs. All right, here we go. So with that can, little bit gassy. I can definitely feel it coming back into my face. Definitely have picked up the recoil, obviously with more back pressure. So that setting 3 that it did not run on unsuppressed, let's see if it runs it with a can on it. Oh, way better. Perfect. And locks back just like it should. So, and this one is not a low back pressure suppressor or anything like that. It's relatively standard from what we've seen in testing. That third setting actually does come in handy, and they do actually have it dialed down low enough to be functional. Recoil, same deal with this long stroke system. Feels more of a less of a spike. It feels more of kind of a wave just rushing across you versus that DI or even the short stroke piston where it feels like you get that spike and then it kind of comes down the back side, and that is a little bit more magnified with a can on the end of it.
We are going to kick this off. This is some of the 77 grain AAC stuff, and some of you will notice that the optic has changed. This has been quite some time since we initially started our review process due to a pretty spicy little wreck. We're going to do a 5-shot group here. And second group, we're going to use some of the basic, the white box M855 here. Also going to be a 5-shot group. We are going to speed this up for the purpose of time. So there's going to be a couple other holes you're going to see on the outskirts. There's some 308s earlier shooting, but we are with the 77 grain. We're pretty dang close. 62 opened up just a little bit more, but both are combat accurate within right around that that 2-inch mark, so about a thumb length. All right, guys, final thoughts. Really do enjoy this rifle. PWS did a fantastic job building it. A lot of attention to detail, from something as simple as the ratchet locking castle nut on the buffer tube to a very well thought out gas system that is actually functional with the suppressor. It's not just high and higher, as some of the rifles are. Actually very usable. Overall fit, finish, feel, quality is top notch. Due to some injury, the first part of this video was filmed several years ago now, and then finally got it. Did some accuracy testing here recently, but I've got just over 2,000 rounds through this total. Been through a 3-gun match and never had a hiccup, never had an issue. Really, the other thing I like is it is well balanced. So you get some of the short stroke gas piston systems that tend to feel a little bit nose heavy, or tends to feel back heavy. Like some of them, they try to put some weight in the rear to balance it out, and then you just end up with a much heavier rifle. There's some additional weight, obviously, with that long stroke gas piston system in it, excuse me, but it feels incredibly balanced, very, very easy. No issue with transitions. And the piston system, the recoil feel on it, it definitely takes a little bit to get used to. It's a strange impulse, if you will, but it feels much more like a wave than a sudden jolt like you see with some of the short stroke systems. Works fantastically. Will take you about 30 rounds to completely adjust to it, but follow-up shots, very easy. The dot comes right back on target. Guys, I do appreciate your time watching this, and as always, stay safe, train hard.